Love is what makes life delicious, and it is. It's absolutely more powerful than death. Mr. Norton, hello again.
Hello again. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. It's great to chat with you again. Yes, because we got the chance to speak, of course, for Elemental,
We did.
and we got another fun project to talk about as well. So
Yeah.
a lot to unpack. Um, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. This is great.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I would love to. First of all, I have to say, Chaos is so much fun. Like this show is an absolute blast from start to finish. What excited you to be a part of it?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I tell you, when I auditioned for it, I had no idea what an incredible show it was going to be. I auditioned, and you're reading, I'm like, who is this Poseidon is talking? And then I say a line, like, what is happening? And I feel like I never in my life have I been on a show where I go to London for a week just for costume fitting. Rebecca Hale is an incredible costumer. And so from the clothes that I wore, we ended up going with a Valentino as opposed to the two other dresses she sewed for me. Everyone should be so lucky. The cast, such a beautiful, diverse cast. It's really a who's who. So you have these cream of the crop actors on this show, and then you've got some unknowns that became really good friends of mine. The diversity of the show, the beautiful worlds, the three worlds that Charlie Cavell created and Netflix championed. Oh, the music sends chills down my spine every time I hear it. The music is by Isabella Summers, who is the machine in Florence and the Machine. And of course, the music, Charlie Covell gave me a music list. So as she's writing the show, she made a playlist for every character. And so I got a chance to rehearse with a playlist. Like, I have to pinch myself to this day.
Honestly, everything about this show is it works. Like even whether it's the opulence of of Olympia to the real world to the afterlife. It's just everything like and the needle drops, like you said, the soundtrack is just
Mhm.
so much fun. But let's talk about is it am I saying it right? Is it pause? Pause?
Pause, yeah,
Pause.
pause.
So what was it that attracted you to the role of Pause? Because she's a fascinating character.
She's a grieving mother,
Yeah.
and she's an alcoholic at the beginning of the show. And but for a mother to be grieving for 30 years, there's something that's amiss. And um, so as you know, her son died in the crib. She thinks it was her daughter who killed her son, but the guilt that you go through as a mother, and she never got a chance to see the body of her dead son because her husband, Minus, played by the amazing Stanley Townsend, who, by the way, I took to lunch just to pick his brain about acting. This man has worked on so many things. Um, but he is a totalitarian, toxic human being who wouldn't even let me see the baby's body. So I just imagine, I just take his word for it. And I don't want to give away too much. I mean, this show has so many fans, but there are a lot of people who haven't seen it yet. So
Right.
I don't want to give any spoilers. But I feel like that not having closure with your baby causes a guilt of what should I have done? What could I have done? And so all of that toxic pain and anger and poison is something that she's living with and then pouring onto her poor daughter, played by the wonderful Leila Farzad, Ari. And poor Ari is just such a good human being, and I treat her horribly.
That well, I mean, again, we don't want to give away too much, but your character certainly, is caught with a difficult circumstance, shall we say, with with the loss of your son. And yes, the grief that she carries totally shapes her character
Yeah.
and her storyline. Um, with that being said, in this particular show, how would you describe the relationship between the gods and man? Because there's certainly, some tension, shall we say.
Shall we say. The gods are narcissists on this show. They care only about themselves. And it's like, man, they love to be worshipped. So they use humanity for their own benefit. And there are the majority of human beings in Crete, which is the only place I know. I'm the first lady of Crete. They are very, very religious, and they continue to worship and they continue to give these terrible gods more and more power through their worship. And the show has a beautiful, subtle message about humanity, and that it's really our humanity that is precious and important, and not these ideologies maybe that we create. Like, how beautiful would it be if we were more about our humanity and more respecting each other than respecting some belief systems that we hold on to?
I love that aspect of it because, I mean, you're right. I would say, I'm going to say most of the gods are tyrannical in
Yes.
nature. And, there's a conversation where Zeus is speaking with, the one he has chained to the rock. I know my Greek mythology. I
Oh,
can't
yes.
name
Prometheus.
Prometheus. Yes, yes, of
Oh,
course,
my
Prometheus.
God. Yes.
And he's talking to him and saying, I want, what about the old Zeus that I knew who loved his people and he accomplished more through love, but he
Mm-hmm.
wants to go scorched earth, and you see this tension between the gods and humanity, and humans just trying to get by. And you said they care only about themselves, but I would ask you this: what do you think that there is any care for the gods for humanity in this, or are they just self-absorbed?
I think they're very self-absorbed.
Yeah.
It really, they have these eternal lives. Zeus and played so beautifully, charismatically by Jeff Goldblum, and Hera, Janet McTeer. I mean, this couple, they're so delicious to look at. They've been living together for 2,000 years, sister and brother and sister and spouses, and it's like they've survived through, I feel, the worship and the energy of people, as you'll see in this show. How Zeus has survived is actually uh, much more macabre and negative than that. He's surviving on the soul of people. So yeah, they keep people alive to keep themselves going.
Which is horrifying to think about when you think about it.
Uh,
Uh, but there is a interesting conversation that takes place because we have this, unfolding story, shall we say, this love story that sort of begins to drive the narrative. And one of the lines that is said is that your love is greater than death. And I know this is not your character, but it's a beautiful line. I was wondering, in your mind, do you think that's true?
Absolutely, it's true. Um, what makes death hurt the people or the animals that remain alive is love. If it wasn't for love, you wouldn't even care about death. It's just like, okay, so and so died. Love is what makes life delicious, and it is. It's absolutely more powerful than death. My mom passed away in 2018. I feel her with me constantly. And it's because of my love. It's not that her
Yeah.
ghost is here, but
No.
it's because of my love for her.
Yeah. No, I that's beautiful. I appreciate that, and because there's something powerful here, as you said before, humans trying to live with each other, and learning what are the things that we need to keep ourselves going. And I think that that's one of the key things.
Mhm.
Um, and I was just wondering, just for fun, if you had the chance to sit down with Zeus, what would you say to him?
I'd say, honey, you need a shrink or a life coach or I don't know, a shaman. I think he needs an ayahuasca journey, something. You've got to stop being such a narcissist, such a megalomaniacal, petty tyrant. It's not necessary to be this way. It's not necessary to hurt those around you.
Uh,
Life could be lovely with you being kind,
yeah, even a little, even a little.
even a little bit.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it is so much fun, and to like you said, it feels like every, and I know it's not the case, but it feels like everybody's in this. It is just a phenomenal cast across the board to work with that to work with. Um, I really appreciate your time, but what do you hope people take away from Chaos?
Um, First of all, it's so fun. It's so hilariously dark. It's entertainment. I hope they know how much fun they're gonna have. It's created to entertain them. But I hope they take away how beautiful their humanity is, how special that is, you know.
Well, here's a question too, just as we wrap up. I'm just thinking of this now as you said that. What do you think we can learn from our humanity by seeing this story play out as it does?
That that narcissism and violence just leads to darkness. You know, that I really I'm optimistic that we human beings we're going to get it. We're going to get that. Um, we're going to be able to resolve things without violence one day. We're going to take better care of the earth one day. I'm optimistic about it.
I appreciate that so much. Honestly, it's such a joy to speak with you again. I really hope we
Oh,
get a chance to do it again soon.
thank you, Steve. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely, anytime. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
bye bye.